Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Cadillac Truth or Dare event. I tried to get as much content as possible, but it was clear that it's not really an event where they really want people actually recording. I probably would have just been better off with my phone, honestly. But the event was pretty cool. I got to test drive an ATSV, a CTSV. I guess not really test drive, like it was one round of actual autocross with the ATSV. And there was a guy, Brandon, I'll put a link to his Instagram below. He actually travels with this group and does some track days and everything in Vegas out there, and is probably, well, he just showed me that he's a hell of a lot better driver than me. But free stuff, they give you this free hat. I got a ride in the XT5 and also got a ride in the Cadillac Escalade, which had massaging seats, and it had a bunch of high-tech features that I don't actually think I would use too much, but it had it. It's luxury. It's nice. And obviously I drove the ATSV probably the most technically because I'm in second gear. At the BMW event, you get to drive more frequently, and I think it's a little bit more well organized, but I went there during the last session, so essentially a lot of the things that you get to do are test driving cars and those types of things. But for this time, I did not get a chance to do that, so it's kind of a bummer. I would love to get to drive around the ATSV to actually see how nice of a ride it is, or how not nice of a ride it is. It was super responsive, and this was with the 8-speed, so leaving in auto mode and not shifting pedals yourself. The overall event was nice. I mean, they said it went till 6:30 to 8, and with that you have time to test other items, which obviously the XT5, the Escalade, and the CT6, which it looks like they're really just trying to market the cars, like get Cadillac's name out there for things that, you know, you should be actually trying to use or driving or whatnot, because I think it's more of a brand thing. You know, people are swaying more towards other cars. Everything that I drove, essentially, other than the XT5 and the Escalade, were cars that they're trying to market, probably because the sales are fairly lackluster. I really have not seen an ATSV. I know the ATS essentially was not being sold very well, and I don't know how the CTSV or the CTS are actually selling, but it seems like they hold these sessions to actually get customers to drive their cars. So it's a good, like, marketing ploy, but I don't know. I think if I went to an earlier session, then I probably would have gotten to drive a little bit more, or a few different cars for a little bit more time, and I would have liked that, because this sort of felt like everything was rushed, and there was one guy that essentially didn't want me recording, and actually what I should have done is mounted my camera, because if I mounted my camera, then it would have actually been stabilized, because I'm sure all the footage that I have is probably not stable at all. And and yeah, I mean, overall it's a free event, so you can't really say much to that. Would I recommend going to one? Yes, I would definitely recommend it, just because it's free, and if you have one near you, like this one was maybe 20-30 minutes away from where I live, so it was a good experience to have, especially because at the Chicago Auto Show and Chicago Auto Show mainly, I didn't even get to sit in the ATS-V, which is one of the cars that I really wanted to sit in. So it was kind of a bummer, but I understand it's a car show and you're not obligated to do that. So I guess one of the cars that I wanted to test drive is down, so I guess I drove around in the ATS-V and it was really nice, really responsive. The interior is really nice. I got some clips of that, and yeah, overall, I would recommend going to the events and just keep your expectations fairly low, mainly because if you test drive the car, you essentially will not get to do 0 to 60 runs, and not just that, but not drive the car on autocross too. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting to say the least, and it was fun to do that. Do I wish I got more time? Yes. Cadillac, if you want to invite me out to an event in Vegas or something like that, and drive some manual cars, then I would love to do that. I doubt you would have any events that are like that, but I think you have, like, if you buy a new ATS-V, I think GM has that whole program where they allow you to drive all that stuff on track and teach you how to learn to drive your car, basically. And that would be awesome. Like, any track time, I would love to have track time. So a lot of things that people or auto journalists have complained about with the ATS-V is the interior. I liked it. I didn't really have that many complaints about it. There were hard plastics in the center console, but they were pretty, like, it was fairly soft. I didn't really have that many complaints about it. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, it's a good event. You should definitely go to it if you have one near you. I highly recommend the ATS-V. Obviously, I have not driven a up-to-date or 2017-2018 BMW M3 or a Alfa Romeo Giulia Quattrofoglio or the C63S AMG. Haven't driven that either, so I really have nothing to compare other than the cars that I've driven, like an older M3 and some of the other performance cars that are out there today. More budget related. These are more expensive. I think you could buy I'm pretty sure the ATS-V starts out at around like 50 grand and then rolls up to like 60 depending on what options you get. I'm pretty sure the Recaro seats are an option, and some of the items like the suede steering wheel and shift knob is an option. Comes standard with magnetic ride, we'll call it. But I mean, that's really the car that I would want as a daily and a track car, because I kind of want the car that I have to do double duty, but thinking about what actually, honestly thinking about what I want expense-wise, and I would never just sell this car for $10,000 or trade it in for 10 grand and buy a brand new car, because that's just a complete way. Like, this car is worth way more than 10 grand to me. Like, I paid $25,000, and yeah, I don't know. But just talking specifically about the event was okay. The people there were pretty nice, depending on who you were talking to. And yeah, the CTS-V is fast, the ATS-V is fast. One has a Corvette engine, a ZL1, or I guess, yeah. Is it the ZL1? it's Z06. One has the Z06 engine and one has a V6 twin turbo, which I don't think that car shares any other 3.6 liter V6 twin turbo. So I'm not sure that actually shares any. The engine is used in any other car. So, but yeah, other than that, it was quick, easy, fun. Got to sit in those expensive cars, which a lot of people don't allow you to do, and play around with the infotainment system, Q, which has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is what I would want. And come on, like, infotainment, you put yourself 2 weeks with the car, you'll learn infotainment systems, so it's not really that big of a deal. But other than that, that's all that I had to say about this event. It was good, it was fun, short, and yeah, don't have any complaints for something that's free. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.